basically, as this video goes on, it's going to get more advanced and like less useful. So at the start, you're going to get a lot of bang, you know, a lot of useful for very little buck. And as you go on, big buck, little bang. Okay, so this is just a general explanation of how gameplay works in PA. PA is a very aggressive game. You need to leave your base. You need to get out of here. You need to go expand to the whole map, as much as the map as you can. You have to get as much metal as you can, because otherwise the other guy is going to get more metal than you, and more stuff is going to beat less stuff in 90% of the scenarios. He's going to get the bigger rock and smash your head in. Furthermore, if the other guy has nothing to pay attention to other than getting more metal, he doesn't have to respond to any of your threats or raids or whatever, then he's going to easily outmetal you. He's just raiding you, even poorly. You're going to get distracted. You're going to lose fabs. You're going to slip up. So be aggressive so the other person slips up before you. All right, let's get to the easy part, bro. Settings, gameplay, show unit icons. Hit that on always. Icon display distance, crank it up all the way to the right. Keyboard, units. Select all air combat units, W. Select all land combat units on screen, S. Select idle fabbers, F. Boom, you're done. Hit save. Now on to the most important part of the video, the build order. Bots, metal, air, 3 power, bots. To continue this build order, you'd go 3 power into a factory, 3 power into a factory, 6 power into your tier 2 bot on 99% of land maps. From your first factory, you'll build 4 fabs, 20 docks. With your fabs, you'll grab your base metal, and you'll also select your factory and right click on the fab. All fabs built from this factory will follow this one, and all units will follow this one as well. The fabs will also continue his build. From your air factory, you're going to build a scout first, and then let's say 5 fighters, 1 bomber on a loop. If you don't have auto factory. Once the scout is out, you want to go to your opponent's base. Try not to lose the scout. So you'll scout their build order, but most importantly for you, you want to look at where their fabs are, going, how many, where their units are, and where they're going, how many. After your base metal is complete, you want to expand. If you built 4 fabs, you want to split one off in a different direction. On your first 3 metal, you will not proxy. You'll do that on your next metal. Proxying on your first 3 metal causes a economical crash. When your second bot factory is complete, you want to get 2 fabs, 1 from each. While controlling your units, you can right click and draw a line, and they will form that line the best they can. You can also hold control to see their range. Get a factory and a radar. With the second group of fabs, you'll assist the fab in its initial opposite direction expansion. You want to get a proxy and a radar. This can be a bot or a vehicle factory, but if you don't know which to choose from, just choose a vehicle factory. If you have not received any activity from the opponent, you should go scout them. We're approaching the time. It takes approaching the time that it is to build T2. So we'll queue up our fab. This is just the build order mentioned before with a T2 on the end. Once we complete a proxy, we should move to the next position. This is basic factory control. So, click once, mix once, right? If you shift click, you can make a bunch, right? And it'll, yeah, you know, it works. It's 5 per click. Let's say you want a fabricator now. You hold control and then you click. And it will bring it to the front of the queue and build that fab. Okay, now let's talk about infinite mode. Or continuous build. Whatever you queue, it will loop. So you'll build ants, you'll build spinners, and you'll build inferno. So it's gonna go 6 ants, 1 inferno, 5 ants, 1 inferno, 1 spinner, and then it will repeat itself. And how you avoid, let's say if you want strikers now, you control click, and it will bring it to the front of the queue and only build it once, ignoring the infinite build. Furthermore, with factories, you can right click to give them a rally point, and all their units will flood from these factories to that rally point. Okay, so tier 2 units. I have 5 slammers, which is about 5k. I mean, 2k metal. And then I have, you know, T1 army. Also about 2k, a little bit more actually. Here's what happens to it. It gets brutally destroyed. So having T2 is extremely important because T2 units are often more metal efficient and have more range. However, this is a very strawman scenario. You have to have T1 supporting your T2. You can't just send them out alone because they'll get picked off. They need fodder, so infernos or ants to tank shots for them, or even docks, and they need anti-air support. T2 bots has no good anti-air solution. When you get your T2, for example T2 bot, it doesn't build that quick, right? It costs a lot, doesn't build that quick. What do? To get your full value out of the T2, you get yourself some fabs, bot vehicle, whatever, and you boost it. You don't what is it called, over boost it, because of course there's the what is it called, walk-off time. But yeah, this is better than making another T2 factory, and a lot cheaper. 900 metal versus, you know, 4.8k. Okay, and then we go on to air. All right, 15 docks versus 15 docks. How do you win? How do you win, right? This, your opponent made a line, right? And you just walk in. What happens? All your docks died. Why? Because when you make a line, more of the docks can shoot at once. And when it's a square like that, or straight line, whichever, you will have less docks shooting on the non-line side. So if you want to win a docks trade, just make a line. Alright, so if you right click, units will move in formation, right? For example, this is like Infernos will be in the front. Very convenient if you're just using tanks. But if you want your units to move at their maximum speed, you control click. So you see the docks will move at their maximum speed, and so will the Ants and Infernos. Also, you can hold right click to form a line, and you can A click, which is attack move. I mean, they will move to a firing position and then stop. Observe. These ants will stop once they're within range, and these Infernos will continue forward. This is particularly useful against turrets. Because your Infernos will stay in the front, and the turret will prioritize them, while your ants shoot at the turret for free. That's all. Okay, let's talk about turrets. Turrets are very useful to defend position, of course. So we have two turrets, the single laser and the double laser. The single laser costs 225 metal and has 350 health. These stats are just not very good. They are like an emergency turret, I guess you'd say. For 350 metal, you can get 1500 HP. Much higher metal to HP ratio on the double laser, the big one. So whenever you place a turret, doesn't matter if you're placing a single laser or a double laser, you want to put one wall in front of it, because one wall has 2000 health and it only costs 50 metal. So it's very efficient in terms of what is it called, HP to metal. And here you'll see that this one wall will do its job quite well. We'll delete it for sake here. Most of the shots are hitting the wall, and not a lot of them are hitting the turrets, despite there being only one wall. So, where to place turrets? You want to place turrets defending points where they can't just be easily sidestepped. For example, here, they basically have to go through the turret. Or even here, they have to go through the turret. Like, you want to use it kind of offensively. Like, you'll have metal here. This is like a neutral portion of the map. You rush your fabbers up here, and then you can make a turret, and then a wall. And the position is very hard to overwhelm without a big metal investment, or what is it called, time investment. That's 14,000 in docks, so only 675 in turrets.
Returning fire.
So yeah, bots are quite weak to turrets, except the grenadier. If you're not building grenadiers, then your units are generally weak to turrets. So how do you beat turrets? How do you beat bot the builder?
Have you scouted recently?
Made like, you know, big wall in like a choke point, and you want to overrun this. What you do is you get yourself the bot factory, and you make yourself some grens, and you're gonna need vision as well for your grens. So this can be done with like skitter or whatever, but I like radar. You know, it's easier to use radar. You get your grens over here. You just right click the turret. And your Gren will eat this turret pretty quickly because the Gren DPS is quite high against stationary targets. Grenadiers are not very good against moving targets, but against stationary, they can eat them quite quickly. Alright. So, fighters in mass, more fighters trade better. 4 fighters completely mob 1 fighter with 0 losses. So 1 fighter died and 0 of our fighters died. We took damage to one of our fighters, but we also took damage to another one of our fighters. Why? The fighter we saw only shot once, right? Well, air has splash damage. So you have to always keep your air spread out, and you can't do this. You can't right click to make it follow a unit. Like say you wanted it to follow your fabs. This is terrible. Why? Because all your fighters will just get one shot. Gone. Gone. Completely gone. Another thing. This is how you trade air. You poke and run away. Why? Because when you're running away, your missiles get to them faster than their missiles get to you. Because you're making distance and they're chasing. This was an even number of fighters. And now it's not so even amount of fighters. I have no outro. Alright, leave. Bye.